Oh, my little pepper plant. It's pretty. This is the pimenta vicuña, little bird's beak pepper. Beautiful little pepper. Funny thing about these, from what I've read, as you grow these and harvest them, most of these little peppers on here are sweet, very like a very sweet pepper, not hot. But every once in a while, one of them is going to have some super heat to it. It's like most of them will be tame, and then one little booger in there is going to be hot. Well, I, an ancient evil has struck my pepper, and in one night and one day, a pack of these pudgy little green predators have come in here and tried to take as many leaves as they could. They're working together as a team. There's at least 5 or 6. I think there's 6 on here. They make their way through your garden very fast, and they will do so much damage you wouldn't believe it. Now look, okay, they got the leaves off of here. This pepper is still fine. I'm going to get these little guys off of here. Now these peppers are these caterpillars, tomato hornworm or tobacco hornworm, they truly are a menace. They will strip any kind of plant, especially tomatoes and peppers, away in no time. You can find these easily. They glow in the dark. If you've got a UV light, you can go out at night. It's fun with your kids. There's a YouTube channel called Sustainably Yours Homestead. Great guy, great family. And they've taken people out, or taken out on little trips looking for them in the dark. I think a few people have. Crazed Family Homestead may have, and I think, let's see, there's one more. I can't think of what her name is right now. But anyhow, if you want to do yourself a favor, get yourself a UV light and get out there at night and look for these little monsters that are going to eat your plants. They're cute little buggers, but I don't want to feed them. I'd rather feed myself or something else that's cute. So I guess I'll go through here and start picking these things off. Yeah, look at there. Oh, he don't want to give it up. Get off of there. That's my pepper. That's my pepper. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. What are you doing? What are you doing to my pepper? Yeah, you can't be here. They are cute, but they are a problem. Yep. Watch out for these. Watch out for these little boogers. You know, I use natural methods here, so it can be a job to stay on top of the pests. But be on guard. These little boogers will tear everything you got up. Let me see if I'm going to do anything else today here. What else am I going to do? Now this is kind of I made the footage of my pepper plant yesterday, and I'm going to do this today. Bring you out a message for Shed Wars. Right now, this first thing, I want you to look at something. Look at how beautiful that used to be. That is the first thing that I planted here. What you're looking at is the hacked up remains of a 16-year-old or so blueberry bush. First thing that I planted here on my property when I moved here. And it grew to well over my head. But it grew right up underneath the telephone pole. This was the only place that I had any sun when I first moved in here. And the power company has been going through the neighborhood and cutting everything out, like you see, that right there. And they really, it's not their job. They can't tell that that's a blueberry bush and it's directly underneath there. So, you know, but it's not a total loss. This is still alive. I've still got great roots, and I needed to prune it back. So sometimes natural forces comes in and prunes it for you. And in this case, the power company would be considered a natural force. It wasn't my hands that did it. It was some other force of nature, you know. So can't get really too upset about them doing that. Now I'm going to take you though. There's a mixed blessing with them coming through there. And so for Shed Wars today, I want to bring you one of those mixed blessings and tell you, don't plant your blueberry bushes up underneath your power lines, because bad things will happen. Now they've already come through and sprayed everything too. That's been done in the past. So stay away from the power lines. Don't grow your stuff there. Now, let's take the old walking stick and I'll take you and show you something else. Mixed blessings of our wonderful utilities. Let me get to the point of this tip. It's not my walking stick, but I would advise you that a walking stick like this, made out of a simple mop handle or broom handle that's got a spike in the end of it, is very useful to you. Okay, a lot of my previous content or past content has been about permaculture, and that's all it is, and hugelkultur, okay? And there are many people that have said, oh, I want to do that, but I live in the city, or I've got my yard and all this kind of stuff. I don't have the place, and I don't have wood. I don't have a resource to get wood or whatever, okay? Now is the time to be looking at things in a different way, all right? We're standing up underneath here, underneath the power lines. The mixed blessings of the power company coming in and cutting down my blueberry. What they've also done is come in and cut out a bunch of other stuff. They've cut out all of the trees, the branches that run even close to their power lines. Look over there. Look at all of that right there. You see all that brown stuff right in the middle? That is limbs and small trees that they have cut down. Now, anybody can go get this stuff. I know most of you are in apartments, or a lot of you are, and you're not lumberjacks or anything like that. So let this message be for whoever can take advantage of things like this. When you have a blowdown, okay, or somebody does, some tree comes down, you can go get that stuff. I keep a pruning saw in my vehicle at all times. A saw can come in handy, and it doesn't take up that much space. If you want to build something without money, if you want to garden without money, if you want to take advantage of resources that are there, free, for just the picking up, this is one place on the side of the road, wherever you are, that can help you do that. Look for things, in the past, people might have looked at resources like, well, I don't need that. That's just trash, or that's ugly, or whatever, Well, I can promise you, with the economic news and the news about our food security and the availability for food, you need to start looking at every resource possible and what it can do for you, making everything stretch for you, right? And that is an awful lot of resources just laying there on the side of the road from me. Now, I can't, I've only got so much trees and wood on my house, at my property, so I bring that back. I bring back stuff like that to build my hugelkultur beds. I go out other places and I look for rocks and bring those back. Look at things in your world that you can put to use, that are free and available now, while your movement is not restricted. Do that. A little while back, we had the whole world getting upset because they didn't have toilet paper, right? I guess everybody was scooting their butts across the ground. Some of them, might have been doing that. They were in a panic. That's because they didn't, supply themselves with the minimums that they would need to ride out a small storm. They didn't have a deep pantry. Toilet paper was not included in that deep pantry. They didn't do what they should have along the way to keep themselves ready for an event that they could ride out for few weeks or a month. They were totally dependent on the just-in-time system that we have in most developed worlds. They thought it was silly to think about survivalism or prepping or just storing some extra food. They really thought it was a good idea, but they didn't want to be the one to do that. They've demonized it for so long. But now people are starting to wise up. When you can't find any toilet paper to wipe your tuchus, you start realizing how important it might be to have a few extra rolls on hand, just in case, you know. And people are starting to see resources in a new way. I encourage you to do that as well. Okay, this is enough of this. This is just one way, you know, that I have to bring back more resources to my property. And while I do that kind of stuff, it helps clean up the side of the road, if nothing else, right? And I bring it back and I grow my food in it. And you can too. So if you're in a suburban setting, if you've got a yard and you think maybe I want to try that, do it. Because right now is the best time in the world to be making a little space in your front yard, your backyard, or wherever to grow food. And we've got things in this country in most developed nations called homeowners associations that want to prevent you from doing anything with your property unless it meets certain guidelines. The HOA. Now, I'm here to tell you that in the future, HOA is going to become more of a thing that means homeowner agriculture, right? Something like that. A different kind of HOA where everybody's growing their own food again in victory gardens. All right, now let me, I'll end this here. The main tip for Shed Wars today is look at things a different way, whatever your resources are. I'm providing you with one right now. Look for what's free. Look for what you can bring back to your place and do something with it. All right? Now we'll finish up the rest of this. Well, I had something else in mind to do, but I think what I'm going to do is this. It's getting a little dark here, so I'm going to let that other thing go. It's that one I picked off earlier. What do you think? Can they swim? We're looking at natural pest removal, dealing with pests in a natural way. And what I'd like to know, even though they're so cute, and they're cute, you know, they're so pretty. One of the natural abilities they don't have is the ability to swim. Now I'm gonna tell you, it's a terrible battle. They've drawn blood. Okay, they didn't actually draw blood. That was from the briars here. But if you have some all-natural methods of pest control for different pests, why don't you leave me a comment down there and tell me what your favorite methods are. And we're going to pull these things off of here. Let's see, there they are. These little boogers hide so well. Now I have seen some people that amaze me, okay? They will walk out in their garden and just grab every bug and smash them with their hands, okay? I'm not at that point yet. I don't like doing that. I will run my arm all the way up to my shoulder inside a deer's cavity, cleaning out a deer. But I don't want to mash bugs in between my fingers. I don't like it. What are some of your favorite ways to control your pest in a natural way? You know what? I think I got all of them. There's probably some hiding up in there, and we don't like that. Do y'all see any? Do you see any? This ought to keep it safe. This ought to keep it safe for a little bit. But yeah, let's see what we got. 3, 4. I've got 4 in there, so I think I'm missing one. And I'll have to look for him off camera. I ain't gonna bore y'all with that. But leave me a comment down there and tell me, what are your natural methods? Okay? There's a lot of reasons why you would use natural methods over poisons or anything else like that. If you don't put out poison, well, it can't get into your soil, can't get into your food. There won't be any poison on this pepper for residue. The extra won't run off onto your soil and kill any beneficial insects. You know, that's the main things. If it's all natural, healthy stuff, it's not going to hurt you. So let me know, what are your favorite natural pest control methods? I'd love to hear from you. And we got one side that's a little naked and one side that's a little full. This was last night, what the Army did. And this is what they were going to do tonight. Yeah. Yeah. Before, after. All right. I think we did a good job of saving that today. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Leave me your comments and let me know what you do. Even if you're the ones that's smashing the bugs. If you are, you got my total respect. I can see Cheryl's Organic Food Forest, and she's out there just mashing. She's tough. I can't do that, Cheryl. I can't do it. Not like you do. We're going to let them swim. We'll let them swim. So anyhow, y'all be good. I'll see you next time. Just one more thing. I forgot something, and I'm about to do that. But before I do that one more thing, look, okay? That's from last night. There were two of them. As I was watching that footage earlier, there was one that I missed, but it turns out there was two. Okay, there we go. There's two of them. And I can't find any more. Just those. Now what I've got to do is do a weigh-in. All these little bird's beak peppers, yep, those are fixing to get weighed in. And my theory was correct. Caterpillars don't swim very well. That was last night. Now, let's get to the weigh-in. Okay, Shed Wars weigh-in time. Let's set our little bowl up there. Don't want to claim any weight that's not ours, right? All right, and I'm not going to put stuff like that on there. That's not really edible, but it's going to help me have some more seed for this. Let's see here. Oh, how do we do this one-handed? You know, I've told y'all about one of my favorite heroes. A lady that was, lady that's in her late 80s, early 90s that I knew. And sadly, she's long since passed on. But she was incredible. She lost one of her entire arms to cancer and lived her life with just that one arm. She tried a prosthetic device for a while, and it just didn't work out. So she did everything one-armed. Amazing woman. Let's see, what have we got there? 2.6 ounces. All right. Now, a couple of things. You know, I'm making videos about how to garden and how to do a lot of things in permaculture, and I got off track with that. And I'm preaching to you about, you know, getting ready. Okay. I'm not counting on anything that I'm doing right now to be ready, because through the years I have already done that. The projects that I have going on in my place are for continued source of food and other things, a way to live. All right, I'm not counting on anything from my garden getting me through this winter at all. I won't say everything that I have or don't have, but riding out a substantial storm where food is not available is not really troubling me, okay? But years of that do. So I'm turning my place into a food making machine. All right, that's out of the way. So anybody that thinks that I need to be growing food, you know, and I do, but anybody that's concerned for my well-being, no, don't do that. I'm not worried. Now look at this. All right, there's been a lot of talk lately about peppers and who can grow the biggest pepper. And I'm gonna tell you what, look at that. That looks like about 12-inch pepper to me. I got a 12-inch pepper, right? Now I've got a big foot, right? And that's about a 12.5-inch foot right there. And I'm gonna show you that, oh, I won't even count the stem there, right? Let's see. Got that big foot going. Man with a big foot got a big pepper, right? That's about 12 inches. See that? See? It's 12-inch foot. That's 12-inch pepper. I win. I don't think none of y'all got one that big. Anyhow, I'm going to let that be it for this Shed Wars. And something else I always like to say, right? If you know, we're talking earlier about preppers and survivalism and how people have made fun of those people, you know, saying everything will be fine, nothing's ever happened before, you know, ain't no need to worry about that. Food's always going to be available. If you just got a job, you go down there and go buy you some at the grocery store. Well, here we've got a storm headed at pretty much all of the developed world where people are losing their jobs and people don't have food anymore. So guess why we do Shed Wars? And if you are against people that are preppers or survivalists, well, what's the opposite of a survivalist? I guess that would be a non-survivalist. Does that make sense? Okay, so find the resources out there to help yourselves and get busy growing something. Get busy. There's a storm coming. And I hope that everybody makes it through okay. Most will not. I'll see you next time.